Hey, it's Josh here. In this video, I'm going to give you my recommendation for the best WordPress form builder plugins. Now, before we dive in, there are a lot of options out there. There's no right or wrong. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you two that I use. One is a very robust form builder option, but it is a paid version. It is a pro version of the plugin. But for those of you who just need more simplistic forms or are looking for a good, reliable free option, I'm going to show you a new form builder to WordPress that I started using that's awesome. So before we dive in as well, I also wanted to mention that, I use Divi, and Divi does have a contact form module in the theme, and a lot of other WordPress themes have contact form options as well. But the problem with those is I found that they're very limited. So a lot of times you need more fields, and those just don't have those options. And more importantly, they are notorious for sending emails straight to spam. So it's very important for you to have a reliable form builder for your website, and particularly your clients' websites if you're building forums, and we want to make sure that those emails are getting through. So with all that said, let's go ahead and dive in. The first plugin that I recommend, and is the one that I've been using for, almost 5 years to this point, is called Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is one of the most reputable form builders for WordPress out there. One reason I love Gravity Forms is that it is integratable perfectly with things like PayPal, MailChimp, Stripe, and a lot of other third-party software. One thing that's great about this too, and I will show you some examples of how I've used Gravity Forms here shortly, but it's very robust. So you can build virtually any kind of form you want with Gravity Forms. Now, like I said, it is a paid plugin. So the pricing is a little more than you would probably find with most WordPress plugins, but I've been using the unlimited license here for years. I love it. What I would recommend doing is if you're going to buy Gravity Forms, just kind of factor that price again with your website proposals. Now, you may not make that a line item, but you may just have to remember that you're paying for a reliable form builder plugin, and it's going to be very worthwhile moving forward for you and your business. Now, before I show you some examples of how I use Gravity Forms, let me show you the free version, the free plugin. So the free plugin that I use and recommend now is called Happy Forms. Happy Forms is fairly new in WordPress, but it's very under the radar. Now, this is great because like Gravity Forms, you can set up a lot of different fields. But with this one, you're actually going to see this live when you create it. So it uses the theme customizer, or the customizer for the plugin, and you're going to be able to set up all of your options here. You can see all the options it gives you, and then you're going to be able to create this live, change colors and styling without touching any code. That's one thing with Gravity Forms is they do have some templates that you can purchase, but generally you're going to have to get into some custom code with that. Now, again, the only downfall with Happy Forms right now is that they don't have a lot of the advanced options that Gravity Forms has, and they're still working on a lot of their integrations. Now, I did talk to a support person with Happy Forms, and they said they're adding a lot more functionality soon. But as of right now, it's just not quite as robust as Gravity Forms. Now, let me show you some ways I've used these here. With my site, I'm using Gravity Forms, and one reason I love that is because it offers what's called conditional logic, which means that you can set up fields that show up only when other fields are selected. So one thing that's important to me is to know where my leads are coming from. So you'll see on my site, when somebody selects, I was referred by a friend or colleague, this little field pops up and they can let me know who it was. Same thing if they saw a site that I designed that brought them here, they can select this, and then this field's going to pop up. Now, I don't want this field to show up if nobody selected that, which is one reason I love Gravity Forms, and I'm able to use conditional logic. Now, with Gravity Forms too, you can embed this and integrate this with things like Stripe and PayPal. So on my joshhall.co site, a lot of my tutorial pages have this option for a donation if somebody is willing to donate off of the free content that I produce. So you'll see with Gravity Forms, they can select have a coffee on me, and then the credit card information is going to come here that they can fill out, and it's going to go right through Stripe, or they can select different amounts or do a custom amount. So it's really cool. And then one other example I'll show you here with Gravity Forms is a site we did recently to where they needed a really robust online registration form. And we designed this and completely customized this through Gravity Forms for their online registration, and they love it, and it's been really reliable for them. You can even create little media sections where they can drag files in. So again, Gravity Forms is great for more robust and advanced forms like this, and then Happy Forms is what I would recommend if you have form needs for a free plugin. And this does have a lot of different fields too, I should say. It's not it's not super simple. I mean, you can create robust forms with this as well. Now, let me just show you real quickly what these look like on the back end and explain the differences. I'm on my tutorial site here, and we're going to dive into Gravity Forms first. So I've got Gravity Forms installed, and let's just set up a new form. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to create and style a whole form and get really detailed with it, but I am just going to show you what it looks like. So with Gravity Forms, you're in the backend builder, and you can see how easy this is. You can add different fields here, and then with each one of these fields, you can go in and customize it. So you can customize the label, set whether it's required. You can go into more appearance settings. Now, again, with Gravity Forms, the only thing that's tricky is you're not seeing this live on the site, and generally you're going to have to add more short code extensions to line certain fields up or style things with CSS. But what's great about Gravity Forms is, again, it gives you so many different options. You can add checkboxes, radio buttons. You could go in here, we could add, the name field. And I would say too, just as an aside, if you're ever setting up fields with or forms with names and emails and phones, I always recommend using the pre-built options because that's going to populate the information that people save in their browsers. So it'll take a lot less time for people to fill out forms. So Gravity Forms is great. And again, you can do a lot with like custom post types, which is really cool. And then if you're using WooCommerce or other things, you can link in products. You can link in Stripe with this. Really, really cool. It's really great. And then once you have your form built and ready, you can go into the settings. You can adjust the contact form button, the submit button. You could go into confirmations and set whether it's just a message that pops up or maybe it goes to a different page. And then you can go into notifications and get really advanced with how many emails this gets sent to, the name that comes through, and you can really kind of customize all of this. So now that you've kind of taken a peek at Gravity Forms, let's dive over to Happy Forms, which is, again, the more simplistic but free version. So once you launch Happy Forms, you're going to notice this takes you out of the back end of WordPress and it goes into the customizer. So what I love about Happy Forms is you can set up your form and then you're going to see everything here. So we could add, let's say, name here. There's going to be a lot of options in each little tab here that you set up. Again, you could create things like this to where you could set up all your form and you're seeing this live, which is one reason I love it. Same thing here. I'm probably going to add phone and then let's add email. And then let me just show you how easy this is to customize with Happy Forms, which is one reason I love it. Each one of these has more advanced options. And I could say, hey, I want this one to be half and I want this one to be to the left of phone. So I'm going to go in here into advanced and I'm going to do half. And you'll see automatically over here in the form builder that saved those perfectly to where right there, you see that just popped up live to where the email is on the left, phone is on the right. And again, there's a lot of different options here. And then once you have your form built and ready, you're going to go in to set up all of the confirmation message information, display name, and all that good stuff. And then you can style it even further, again, without touching any code. So for example, let's change that form button color. We want to do, let's say maybe green. There we go, good to go. Save the form, and much like Gravity Forms, once you have a form ready, it's going to give you a shortcode option, and we're just going to take that and we can put it on any page on our WordPress site. Really, really cool. So again, those are the two plugins that I use and recommend. As a summary, Gravity Forms is going to be a little more advanced and robust. It is a paid version, but it has been very reliable for me. And if you're looking for a nice, reliable, free version form builder, Happy Forms is definitely one I'd check out and give a spin. Now, there are a few other options as well. I know a lot of my colleagues really like Caldera Forms. I have not used this personally, but I've heard good things. Might be worth checking out. A lot of people have used Contact Form 7, which is one of the most popular for WordPress. I've had some issues with that, so I can't speak to that in detail, but there are some other options out there. But again, Gravity Forms, if you're looking for robust form builder that is paid, and then Happy Forms for a nice, reliable, free form builder. So there you go, guys. Those are my two recommendations. I hope those help you out with some good tools in your WordPress toolbox, and I hope those help with you in your web design journey. All right, cheers.